Yeah, what's up? This disciple Marshall Occurrence reign back up in this anti-Illuminati all day, anti-telepathy all day, anti-America all day. Yeah, we ain't playing with these suckers, man. Hey, um, this video gonna be basically about America and how they act with their children. We already know they got 40 states that allow children to have sex, so we don't even care about their superhero attitude. We don't care nothing about that. 40 states allow children to have sex. They should be dead for that, in my opinion. But just in case you think, I don't know, you deserve to live in this country, you deserve to have some kind of compassion. Let's go back to the Native American genocides. All the Native American people that were killed. I want to specifically point out in this video the children in the video, the Native American children that died in the genocide. Because when y'all say Native American genocides and y'all think about the Trail of Tears, y'all think about all the Native Americans that were killed, you don't think about the children. Yeah, America has killed children. You also don't think about the African slave children that were killed either. You don't think about them either. Children were killed in the process of slavery. Children were raped in the process of slavery. I know you try to paint the nicest picture. That's convenient. That's what white America does. You try to create the most beautiful little portrait, like one of your little portraits, Paris paintings or something that you have up in your house. I know you want slavery to look like a Paris painting where the Native Americans, the Negroes are out in the countryside picking cotton and your hair was blowing in the wind. That's how you want it to look. Unfortunately, that's not how it was. Children were raped. Soon as they were of age, they probably were raped. Men in slavery were made to have sex with their own mother. That's where you get the term motherfucker. That term came from a man having to have sex with his own mother in slavery. Can you imagine that? So do you think I really care about what's going on now? Do you think I care about their children or them now? No, I don't. I can look at you with a straight face and tell you, I'm not your average Christian. I'm not your average preacher, minister. These other preachers are, they basically are enslaved. Okay, people had to have sex with their own mother. You think I care? That you want to bring up history? You want to hang? You want to hold on to something? You think something should be? You want me to tell you something that is grudge worthy? A race being a descendant of somebody who had to have sex with their own mother, that's worse than having sex with an animal. That's worse than having sex with anything. I mean, the Mexicans are having sex with animals down in Mexico. They're not ashamed of it. But for somebody to have sex with their own mother and produce a child for the sake of producing a child, so you gotta ejaculate in your mother and everything. And you think I care about what these people think? This is their country. They probably raped the Native American children too. I mean, put it together, bruh. They probably raped them too. But we do know for a fact that they actually killed the children as well. That's just common sense, People had children during the Trail of Tears. People had children with all these genocides. They were being killed. They were being killed. And so when people like me come along and tell you that the prophet Elijah killed 42 children, they act like I'm a monster. But you killed children in slavery. You killed Native American children. Your country is responsible for that. I'm just reading you the Bible. That part, boom. I didn't make it up. Prophet Elijah broke off 42 children. He killed 42 children. Ain't nothing you can do about it. It's history. Boom. Tell your best preacher to read the passage to you tonight about the prophet Elijah killing 42 children. Yeah. Ain't nothing he could do about it. He ain't God. None of them ain't God. That's the Bible. Greater than him, and it's greater than him. Even that passage. Boom. What are you going to say? It happened. So I don't know what America thinks concerning their children. Yeah, some people have no regards for your children. You had no regard for African American children in slavery. You had no regards for the well-being of the Native American children by killing the genocide, these slayings. Not mentioning the ones around Thanksgiving time that we just passed. Yeah, there was children around those situations. Okay, so now all of a sudden but that's just how America is. Oh, your children mean the world. They don't mean the world to me. Don't mean the world to me. Hey, they mean the world to you. White children are the only children that are regarded in this country. Look at the conditions that black children live in. It's one thing to be racist. It's one thing to care about children. Okay, you don't care about children, and you're racist. You know, there are some people that are racist but do have regard for children. They do care about children. America has never pulled black children out of these harsh, dangerous environments. But yet you got Asians, no disrespect, they have Chinatowns, and you have Mexicans now having their own form of Chinatown. While black children still are not regarded or cared about. But Mexican children have their own Mexican Chinatown to live in and gallop in. I'm just keeping it 100. While black children should have been first in line for a safer environment than Asian children and Mexican children, especially Mexican children. Okay, Asians, they came over here, they've been over here, they established themselves, I consider them some of the most docile people. They're more harmless than Mexicans. Mexicans are sneaky. I'm just keeping it 100. Hey, I'm keeping it 100. They sneaky. They are sneaky. Asian men and Asian people don't have time for foolishness. They mind their business. They don't play with nobody. On the average, I have seen that Mexican people can be sneaky. Not all, obviously. Okay, let's not be an idiot. It's not all people. On the average, I have seen sneakiness. Rat-like sneakiness, okay? I'm just being 100. It's not really about race, it's about what you're doing. It's about the sneakiness of what you're doing, okay? Got it good. Okay, thank you, boom. Okay, so all of this has happened to, innocent Native Americans, innocent African Americans. And now we're supposed to have some kind of care for children because they're suffering in America because of COVID. I really don't. I don't have any regards because African American children suffer, which, like I said, even if I don't get along with African Americans, I still am African American myself, which speaks for my family. Okay, so African American children suffered in slavery. Native Americans suffered in slavery. In genocides. And now we're supposed to get to this point in your life, this place, and you think I'm gonna care about what somebody think about how I feel about these children now, at this point in history? I don't care what you think. Nobody cared about the Native American children. Nobody cared about the African American children in slavery. No, they're still in the ghetto. There was no retribution made. Maybe at least retribution could be made on the behalf of the children in slavery. Some type of figuring out of a situation. At least you can consider giving retributions considering children suffering in slavery. You know what I mean? Native American children suffered. Now your white children are suffering, and now you're falling apart, and it means everything. I'm sorry, that don't work for me. I don't care. Especially when you got 40 states that allow children to have sex. You need to get out of my face. That's what you need to do. I'm just being real. Just get out of my face, please. You don't even care about your own white children. You got 40 states allowing children to have sex. What you gonna say? Everything you've stood for concerning children is a lie. It's full of crap. I know. My family knows. I'm not the only one that knows. You can't isolate me. You can't isolate me, buddy. I'm too smart for you. I network like I'm supposed to. That's right. You're in a hole, buddy. Because nobody wants to stand with a country that allows children to have sex with adults in 40 states. Not in America, buddy. You can't get past that. You could try to manipulate me all you want to look like a bad guy. I don't really care. Your facts, the facts of how long you have allowed children to have sex with adults in this country, who cares about a bad attitude? Maybe I got a bad attitude because of that. Maybe I don't care about your children because you don't care about your children. Maybe I don't care about your country because they stand with you while you allow 40 states to have sex with children. Maybe I don't care about you and them and anybody here because of that. It's a good reason. It's a good reason. It's a very good reason. I can give you a couple more too. And genocide of the Native Americans, just like the Russians. Well, the Chinese, I think the Chinese made light of that recently. How America treated the Native Americans. People are starting to see who you really are. We're getting more dangerous. I am. Yeah, I'm not playing no games with you, man. You crazy. And I'm violent. That's not a good recipe right there. You think you're violent, you're just mental. You're not violent. I'm violent. You think you being mentally sick means you're violent. It doesn't. I'm violent, okay? You don't want to play with me. People talking about communicating threats. Those are for cowards. Long as you ain't got no tangible, long as I don't tell you a tangible operation that I'm going to do, what can you do? As long as I don't give you a tangible operation of what I'm going to do, what actually can you assume? I know the law. You can't play with me. What can you assume if you don't have a tangible operation? Can't assume much. You can play George Jetson games, Scooby-Doo games, but you can't assume too much if there's not a tangible operation. Okay, that part, boom. You lose. Okay, you play with me, I'm not gonna play with you, man. You look, man. You have no good you're not in good standing with the people. America is not in good standing. I mean, you did slavery, you did Native Americans killings, you did what? I mean, you assassinated Martin Luther King Jr. When have you ever been a good person to judge anybody? Who cares what you think? I don't. The community either. I don't care what they think either. You sitting up here in a country that allows children to have sex. You can't. What are you talking about? What are you seriously talking about? You're just a slave, hey, I hurt you. You want to play with me? I keep weapons. People know, yeah, I'm building that reputation, so you know. So you come around me, playing around me, I don't care what name you call yourself. I will slice and dice you, okay? That's all you need to know. That's all you need to know. You can think I'm crazy, you'll be dead, and I'll be alive. That's all that matters. Boom. Pretty much. I'll be surviving while you're in hell talking about he's crazy. Looks like I won. Look like I was smart enough and sound enough mind to survive. Look like I was sound enough mind to know you're playing games. And I'm showing you I'm not gonna play them with you. Yeah. No, yeah. I'm sound of mind enough to let you know I will clutch you. Yes, I will. Okay? I'm not playing no games with no Americans, man. You ain't got no kind of credibility. The NYPD is having sex with the children. What you sounded your sirens for? You have sex with less than a decade ago. 2 cops had sex with a 15-year-old girl. NYPD. This man got a hand job, was letting a 15-year-old kid jack him off in an NYPD cop car here in New York City. Go look it up. You don't want to play with me, man. See, I kill you with knowledge. I kill you with the truth. That's how it's done. That's how I get whole armies to turn against you. When you have 40 states that allow children to have sex, that's how whole armies turn against you. When people realize MLK was conspired against by the American government, while you thinking that was long ago, we don't care how long ago it was. It's the same government. Why you thinking it's all good? Why you got these other dumb Americans food? Well, that was back then. I don't care. They trying to bring up stuff you did. Look at them. They always trying to bring up something your black people doing. Let's bring up some stuff that they doing. It's convenient for them to tell you to forget and forgive that, but they not forgetting and forgiving what they think, what they even assume that you did. You might not even do it in the context that they've been told. But they trying to hold you to it. Nah, we're going to hold them to what they did to Martin Luther King Jr. then. Yeah. If you play games, hey, people going to bring up your past. You want to bring up my past? I'm going to bring up everything you did. You don't want to play that game, buddy. America, you don't want to play that game. That's not a game you can afford to play when you started this country on slavery. How you gonna play the history game? You can't play the history game, buddy. Better sit your American tails down before you have it handed to you. How you gonna play the American history game? How you gonna play history games, period? You can't do it. You came here slaughtering the Native Americans. That's the history. You wanna go back, you wanna talk about history? You came here slaughtering the Native Americans. Then you enslaved and made Africans work for you. Yeah, you don't want to talk about history and going down memory lane. Yeah, don't insinuate no part of my history, because I'll tell you all your history. And you don't want to kill yourself. Because now that we're coming to the end of time, and now history is being totally mature, you see how much of a jerk you were. You see how much of a fool the white Americans were. How can you stand behind that? In honest opinion, that flag represents slavery. That flag represents killing Native Americans for their land. That's what that flag represents, patriot. For all the 4 branches of the military, that's what that flag represents. Slavery and killing the Native Americans. See, I'm anointed, I'm empowered to do this, buddy. You barked up the wrong tree. I'm supernaturally empowered to destroy you with knowledge, with information. Because when I do it this way, when it's done this way, guess what? We get whole armies and whole standing armies and other militaries standing with us because we have tangible, real-time evidence of your foolery, of your foolishness. It's not a matter of opinion. It's not a matter of hate. It's not jealousy. It's not envy. It's facts and information that is not even personalized. This is not individual. This is not even my information about my life. This is your overall history. Yeah. This ain't even something you did to me, let alone the stuff you did to me. Let alone the stuff you did to me. Look what you did to everybody else. When you first got here, from the very beginning, and you're trying to question somebody's credibility. You're trying to question somebody's credibility. You're trying to talk about somebody's history and memory lanes and things they did. Boy, you a funny, goofy little dude, ain't you? You a goofy little guy, I tell you. Because that's not the game you want to play. You don't want to play memory lane. And that's for you Americans too. You don't want to play memory lane when you sitting up here and don't even know that 40 states allows children to have sex. You don't even know the history of your community. You can't, what can you do? You sitting up here talking about protecting children, and you sitting up here with a country that allows children to have sex with adults. Sit your tail down. You're in trouble. You're all defeated. Okay? You can't do it. You're looking retarded. What you doing? That part. What are you actually doing? Can't play with me, buddy. And this is the difference. When you win wars with knowledge, you gain whole militaries. I gained whole armies and whole militaries with this information. Ain't no military can stand with this. How can you stand with them and they allowing children to have sex with adults? Police, good police, how can you stand with this country when they allow children to have sex with adults? Who cares about the pedophiles? I care about the people that make the laws that allow children to have sex with adults. That's what I care about. I care about somebody that can sit down and sign papers allowing children to be with adults. What you gonna say to that, partner? It's one thing to have some mistakes. It's one thing to have some things you did in your past, especially as a kid. It's another thing to be a grown, full man sitting down signing papers to let adults have sex with children in 40 states, which is the majority of America. I'm telling you, you're defeated. I'm telling you, a new butthole, man. You got a new butthole already. If you're a woman, you got 3 holes. If you're a man, you got 2. You get it? Got it good. Women, you got 3 buttholes. You got 3 holes now. Okay? You're a triple threat. I couldn't resist that. Ain't no telling what you could do with those 3 holes now. Okay, so, oh man, I tell you, man, this is real though. And I ain't gonna be your friend. I ain't gonna be your leader. You gonna give me a bag. That's what you gonna do. And if you don't give me a bag, I'm gonna stay on your head, and I'm gonna continue to stay on your head. I'm gonna continue to this empire has to fall. In the process of you having to owe me a bag, in the process of that, I've stumbled on information that tells me that 40 states allows children to have sex with adults, which now makes you a permanent enemy of me. I don't care if you give me the money or not. I can't be with you. I can't mess with you. I can't mess with a country that allows children to have sex with adults and then you're gonna witch hunt people. No, this is facts. Okay? And you're always talking about your children, and your children, you're always talking about them, but you slaughtered Native American children in the genocides in this country. This is something that you patriots and military and police don't want to think about, but you know children were involved in those genocides. You know Native American children were there. You don't have to be the smartest person in the world. And yet you act like your children is gold. After you done killed innocent people, innocent children, you think people that have no regard for your children are monsters. But you wasn't monsters when the Native American children died. But you wasn't monsters when the African American slaves children were being raped and all of that. You wasn't monsters then. You aren't monsters for allowing children to have sex in 40 states with adults. Okay. I think that's a monster. What y'all think? Children having sex with 40 states with adults? Sounds like a monster to me. Yeah. You can't, every image that you try to bring up and try to put out, it's you. You are the one. 40 states having sex with children is worse than any pedophile walking this earth. You are the king of the pedophiles. That's what you are, America. You allow children to have sex with adults in 40 states. You're the king of the pedophiles, buddy. That's you. Boom. What you talking about, partner? Yeah, well, you can't be serious. That's why people riding with me. That's why they're ready to kill you. That's why I don't have any real problems. That's why I can walk the streets and nothing happens. Because you allow children to have sex with adults in 40 states. That's too sharp of a hypocrisy. I want to see your American face when I'm telling you this. I want you to invite me to one of these shows or something. I want to look at your face. I want to look how you respond when I tell you 40 states allows children to have sex, and Native American kids were killed in the genocides, and African American children were killed in the slavery. I want to look in your face and see how you look. Knowing 40 states allows children to have sex with adults allowed having sex with children here in 40 states. I want to look in your face and see how you look.